Call this meeting to order. This is the Delaware County Commissioner meeting. It's Monday, March 20th. Time is 9:01. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Give me 1 minute, please. March
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You okay? We good, Denise? Okay. Ed, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Shannon Henry.
Here.
Mr. King. Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. Brook.
Here. Okay, we'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes, March 7th, 2023 Commissioner meeting.
So move.
I watched the meeting and read the minutes, so I will second it. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. All right, we have presentations to the Commissioner, a new building at the Fairgrounds, Sheep Barn, 4-H Council representatives. Yes.
Hello. My name's Sean Eldridge. Andrew Eller and I are on 4-H Council. We passed out just kind of a summary of where we're at right now. As you may know, last, I guess, 3 years in a row, we've kind of had a bit of a flooding issue in what we call the Goat Barn. It's one of the older buildings on the fairgrounds.
Do you have 4 copies? Because I need one and so does John.
And we're looking to, basically, since last year at the end of fair, we evaluated, we were looking, okay, maybe we can
No, you're fine.
change the grade, put in some more crushed stone, repair the roof. Made some pretty good headway on the grade. Bart and his team last year during fair, we were able to do that. That seemed to help the ground flooding. Stone's still about 6 inches, 12 inches deep. 4-H has asked for a couple grants to help with that, but the roof is where we've got some issues. We got a preliminary bid, and it was about $30,000. And as you can see, the quote we have from T&M Log Homes, so Tanya Coulter is also a council member, but to help us kind of put a mark in the sand on where we at on cost, just give us an idea. It's almost a wash to repair that roof because it's essentially the wood's no good versus adding an extension to what is the existing. It's the newest building on the fairgrounds, the one that's still open-sided that we house the sheep in during the 4-H fair. To the west of that, we've got quite a bit of ground where we could add a 30 to 40 by 100-foot extension to the side of that barn, which does a couple things. It actually lowers that roof pitch, which then actually helps the animals right now while that doesn't have siding. But twofold, it gets those goats out of that barn to where we're going to house goats and sheep in that newest barn if we could do the extension. So we're not looking to the commissioners. I mean, it'd be great if there's financial assistance, obviously, but we're not asking for that. We're asking for permission to be able to, if we can get monies raised, can we add that extension? We have spoken to Farm Bureau. They're willing to support us to some capacity, as we're still working on getting quotes. So this is very early stages to make sure at least we've got a good path forward. So roughly we're looking about 30,000 is what we're going to have to raise. We think that quote might be a little bit high. Working with the previous builder of that barn to see where his quote comes in. He was out last week, looked at it, still waiting on his bid. But probably where we're at right now is commissioner's approval if we can add on to that west side. Now, the ideal stage is we do that before fair. T&M Log Homes thought they could get their crew there and have that done. If we can't, we know we'll have roof leaks, but we're pretty comfortable with the grading, and we get the stone from IMI that we could handle majority of the flooding, but to where it could be doable this year if we can't get it built in time.
And I'm sorry, but what was your name and who are you with?
Sean Eldridge, 4-H Council. as well as Andrew Eller from 4-H Council.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but last year it was just terrible, I know.
Last year was by far the worst. The
Yeah.
kids were in 6 inches to a foot of water, so we had to relocate animals the morning of their show. A lot of them lost their bedding, some of their feed, and on top of wading through that much water.
Yeah. Yeah, I was out there on that Sunday, and the memorial building also needs some attention. Well, I appreciate all your work on this, and if the committee's good with it, I'm good with it.
You want to make a motion to allow it?
Yeah, I'll move that we proceed as presented.
I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Good luck on your fundraising.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, we have contracts or agreements for approval of the 2023 road paving projects. Angie?
Good morning, Commissioners. I have advertised for various roads in Country Village to be paved. I think we received one bid packet, my understanding.
Yeah. From E&B Paving. There you go. All right, Wilderness Road from Sun Valley Parkway past Palisades Parkway, $40,410. Palisade Parkway from Seneca Drive to Wilderness Road, $80,460. Ravenwood Drive from Sun Valley Parkway towards Swimming Pool Parking Lot, just past East-West Drive, approximately 180 feet, $17,943, 17,943. And then Sacramento Drive from Sequoia Court to Ravenwood Drive, $47,650. Total project cost, $186,463.
You request those taken under advisement?
Yes, if everything's in order, that's under our estimate. This is being paid 50% match from Community Crossing Grant. If you want, I can just present it at the next meeting, or if everything's in order, can I go ahead and give them a notice to proceed? It's whatever you prefer.
John, can we approve it now upon Angie's review?
Yes. Provided she sends you an email that it's all up to,
Okay.
I'll do that.
That sound good?
Angie, are they taking up any of the older?
No, nope. They will be putting the fabric down over the concrete.
Oh, this
Overlay.
is some of the concrete. Are they smoothing out the concrete, or?
It's,
Troy, I don't think you had
I
anything
think
like that.
that's why the fabrics.
The fabric will
Being
take
laid.
care of that?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing through the other parts of
Okay.
Country Village. My understanding, all the roads will be taken care of now. Oh,
This will finish them out. They come in and we're gonna go in actually and take out some loose concrete and patch it back ourselves to keep the cost down.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna come in and put the fabric down, run a leveling course, then a finish course, and this should take care of all the roads out there.
Did we ever get the wilderness one there, a curb that was taken out? Have we ever gotten that one repaired?
I believe everything is done.
Okay.
When we get this project done, everything should be
Okay.
taken care of out there. Pinewood, Pineview, and all the other ones in the back, Creekwood, all of that's been done. Then this will finish up the southern part of it, and we should be good for a couple of years, hopefully.
Good. I move we accept it as presented.
Okay,
Move on.
so you made a motion that you accept the bids as presented upon Angie's approval, correct?
Right.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Angie, could you copy me out the emails so we can make it part of the file?
I'll put a big tab sheet together, and then at the next meeting, we'll need to approve a contractor's agreement.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Delaware County Building Temperature Control Upgrades. Mr. Foster?
Good morning, Commissioner. Steve Foster, Building Superintendent. This is the continuance to the 75,000 that we allotted. Not necessarily that we need to approve it today, but this would go ahead and just do this whole building, and have it all brought up to date. They said it's this temper control is probably 25, 30 years old, so this does software, all the new controls, all the new, I mean, it'll do everything except the VAV boxes, and we're hoping to get, unless you know what the hoping is, I mean, but they get another 5, 10 years out of the VAV boxes. They're not near as bad as getting all the controls and everything to where it's not as hot in the summer and cold in the winter. We want just the opposite.
Yeah.
And I had talked to John because this is automated logic. I know that comes under Sawyer and Taylor, and I can have that just so we don't have any problems. John, they are the proprietary to this controls and everything. They've done it to have another company come in. They'd have to pull all new wires and everything. So when we done the original money, that's why we could use them versus go out for bids. And they'll be working through them. So if we need something different from Automated Logic saying that, that's something John can let us know.
Yeah, Steve did call me on this, and because it is proprietary software and proprietary equipment, there's only a limited number of people that could work on this, and Sawyer Taylor's the only one around, as I understand it.
They work through Automated Logic to do it. They're both working together. Automated Logic's going to come in and do the computer system and all the controls, and they're going to install it for them.
And Automatic Logic wouldn't work with anybody else.
You got Johnson Control. That's who they use, Sawyer Taylor.
Because of the proprietary information and equipment that they have. That's one
We'd
of the
be
things.
$500,000 or more if we went to Johnson Control or somebody else, because they just had to change everything.
Yeah, you'd have a whole new system there.
So this is the bid. The first, the basement's 40,480, right?
Yeah, So on that, with what we're doing now, we figure we can do the basement, partial first floor, plus the louvers that we talked about, but then we'd have to just stop until we got the other 100, so we're, 210? We got 75 allotted, so do the math, a little over 100,000 approved to just continue and do all the floors. Haven't really got a timeline on them. I can get that. Like I was telling Sherry, I'm assuming that, I know they get it. It's all going to be how quick we get the controls in and all that. But if it gets approved, then they're going to come in and start on all that. Actually, they have the louvers. Louvers will be being installed tomorrow. So everybody on the first floor may not be happy because there's going to be a lot of noise. But they're going to install the new louvers tomorrow.
Okay.
So I agree that it's needed, and we need to get it done as soon as possible. And $209,240, a lot of money, but we've got to get it done. This building's.
Well, you figure 75 of it's already taken off of that. So
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that was just an appropriation, that 75, wasn't
It
it?
was what we had appropriated. I think didn't we give you that figure? Yeah.
But this is the actual money, so,
Yeah.
okay.
So you want to approve you're working on the 75,000 right now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We've probably taken about, I didn't think we've taken quite 20,000 off of it because the louvers obviously were 10,000.
Right.
And I just we had approved them before, but I just put them back into it, and I'm just calling it all that project because that's what it boils down to.
I think before we approve that 209,000, we need to take a look at the plan and make sure we have
Yeah,
that.
I'm
That's
kind
fine-
of
that's
confused.
fine
I
with
thought
me.
the 75 was
Well, he's
already-
working on the 75, and that's part of this.
Yep. Yep, that'll get the basement and the first floor done. I just wanted to bring that to you guys because like I said in the last meeting, I've got that. Me and John's working on the roof. I'm getting ready to bring you in the bids on the roof. So, I'm just trying to fair warn you on a couple of things we got to get done this
I
year.
understand.
So.
I get it now. So he's just working on the 75. This is kind of just for our
I just don't
information.
want in 3 months have to come up and
Yeah.
they've already stopped. I would rather just keep going.
We'll review the plan and see if we can put more money towards this project then. Okay.
All right, that'll work.
And John, you're good with ARP since we can't really use any other company?
Right, yes.
Okay, all right. Ed, you're clear on that too when the invoices start coming in?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Steve, working on that. Next, we have amendment to the ARP administrative fees. John, Ed, you want to talk about that?
I was out of the office last week for a few days because I was ill, but in talking to Ed this morning, the purpose is that he wants to set up a line item for salaries. And somehow this got set up as a line item for 1099s, which was not part of the original ARP plan that commissioners had. It was just for administrative expenses. So I don't see, we have $2.2 million you set aside for administrative expenses. I don't see the need to amend the entire ARP plan just to add this line item in it because it's all going for administrative purposes. We need to amend the ARP plan anyway, and I just didn't get it done in time because of my illness. But I think Ed can go ahead and set up that line item to be used for administrative purposes because that was the intent of that project, whatever number it is, 16, 17, whatever number is, in the ARP plan was for administrative purposes. So that's my interpretation of that.
I agree with you, and Ed and I talked about this. Ed, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your intent is you're going to have a couple employees work on some of the invoices that have come in the past. Kind of going to audit that ARP plan,
Yeah,
correct?
reviewing all the claims.
Yeah.
They're
So
reviewing, so.
to make sure all the paperwork's correct and everything's in order. So I think it's a good idea. So we're good on that. We don't need to do anything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
John. Next is resolutions for approval. Resolution 2023-009, identifying certain property be transferred to a nonprofit.
This is a resolution, you did a similar resolution last meeting, but we had the address wrong of the property. It should have been 2600 block of South Walnut Street. I got my wires crossed with Bill Walters, and so this is the one to set up for the public hearing on the 6th, no, not the 3rd of April, which is your next meeting date.
Do we want to wait and approve this then?
Well, you approve this to get the process started.
Okay, all right.
Then they submit their application,
Okay.
and then you make the final approval after the public hearing.
There was the one before, void.
It was on South Walnut Street, but a different address on South
Is
Walnut
it
Street.
void now?
Yeah, that's void.
Okay.
Okay.
So move.
All right, second, roll call, please.
Mr. King, Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Department heads and elected officials. Ed?
Yes, I've had a few inquiries in reference to, pull it up here, an active shooter training. I've talked to Jeff about this, and we'd like to get the approval for the commissioners to allow the sheriff to come in and set that up for all the offices here in this building and including the Justice Center.
Is it done during the day or after work?
I think it's
Jeff,
more
could
of-
you come up?
Morning, Jeff Stanley, Chief Deputy.
So could we do maybe 2 or 3 classes in both buildings so we don't empty offices out?
We can.
How can we do that?
Or we want to do that during daytime hours to,
It'd probably be best so that the employees are here.
Yeah, I'd
If
rather do it,
possible.
if we can do it.
sure. I'll get with Captain Tony Johnson and we'll have training at the Justice Center here and the county building as well.
Thank you.
And let me check with the health department as well.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
What about the highway department?
Yes, let's check with the highway department. Is there anyone else?
No, I think that,
That'd probably be it. Okay. I'll check with them and then I'll get with you guys. How's that? Thank you. Anybody else?
Morning, Commissioners. Rick Spangler, Delaware County Clerk. I'm sure you all received a email from the schools over the last week. As you know, in your last meeting, you approved our polling sites for the upcoming election. The schools have expressed concern about us voting there. As part of our vote center plan, we had gotten pretty much out of the schools. But since we had to revert back to it, I am working with the schools. I am looking at locations actively. I am up against some deadlines with the state. I will keep you posted. I think we're going to be able to help them on a couple of the locations. But right now we just got to do what we got to do to have this election. We kind of got behind the 8 ball.
Right. I appreciate you working with them.
They're great to work with us. They always, accommodate us, and we all are looking for solutions rather than voting in the schools. So I will keep you posted, and we'll see if we can't get this resolved.
I know it puts extra burden on you to
Thanks.
deadlines.
Thank you, Rick, for doing that. Anyone else? All right, we have the payment of claims of $1,187,728.68, and the payment of ARP claims at $10,804.
So move.
We have a motion to approve the claims. I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Mr. King, Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Troy, did you put a sign-up sheet outside, Denise?
You know,
Could you get that?
we have a signature, but we don't have a sign out there. We really need to get a sign. We're supposed to sign up. I keep forgetting to tell them.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Don. Is it Brian? Okay.
I was in contact with you guys last year. Barry got a
Yeah.
job done for me.
Yeah, always something to do in there.
Could you take the podium, please?
Sure will.
Yeah.
Pretty big. How far do you want me to take it? Sorry.
You state your name and address, please.
Brian Huffman. I live on 5220 North County Road 500 West. I can keep it short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
3 minutes.
Yes. Nothing in the world's maintenance free, is it? And you guys were good enough to pave my road about 7 years ago. And within the first 2 years, you had to come out and do some patching.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about should be, I hope, at very low cost, but the one picture with the water standing there, 4 or 5 places on my road, I get out, bicycle, walk my dog, use the road quite a bit. In that 4 miles between 332 and Highway 28 to the north, standing water is quite a problem. And like I said, the first place lasted 2 years, had to be patched. The type of work I'm talking about, if you'd send me out with a couple summer interns, we could do a lot of good with spades and shovels. The one picture with the chuck holes, you can see Jake's Creek in the background. My point is, we've got a place for the water to go. And I know you guys are making a road budget. Maybe you've already made it. My dad always used to tell me I was a day late and $1 short. So I hope I'm not too late to ask you to think about some maintenance projects with your budget.
Is this out there by Watson's, across from Watson's?
Mile and a quarter north.
Because whenever you have that high land there, and Troy, would you want to come to the podium, please?
I've said all I need to say.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you, sir.
Huffman.
Ask you to consider doing some maintenance, all right?
Yes.
Hey, Troy,
I
come
agree.
up here.
And we might need some new equipment because this is so low.
Here you go. Just take this with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you just, Troy, could you just run that?
Yeah, it's actually scheduled for a maintenance layer this year
Okay.
between 332 and 28.
Yeah.
What we do prior to that is run a Durapatcher down it and level up all the lower spots.
All right.
Well, that ditch,
It's scheduled also to be burned, but we got an issue with our backhoe. It's the depth fluid system on it just keeps killing it, and we can run about a day and a half, and got to send it back north to get it fixed. But
see what we can do, and if,
It's on my maintenance
Okay,
list this
okay,
year,
all
the
right.
whole stretch, and so is, 400 West also, the same
Okay.
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
because like I said, now that we got our program in order, once we get them down, they're gonna set 2 or 3, 4 years, then we'll try to put the chip and seal maintenance layer over 'em to keep the water out of them, and keep them another couple years in good shape. So
But
that's what we're
I
doing.
know we are doing a real good job. I came home yesterday from up north, and but this ditching does get ahead of us, and I don't know what
Well,
kind of
this-
machines we have, like
This picture here looks like a field entrance, so it looks like it's gonna have to have a pipe. So if you can tell in that picture, the water's coming off the field right into the
Right.
road and no place to go. So it looks like they're using it as a field entrance there. There should be a pipe there, and then the ditch on each side of that to keep the water out of it, but,
yeah.
so that's where
see,
the
see,
issue
what-
lies.
see if we need to do that.
Okay,
Check it
And
out.
if you need to buy any equipment, I approve.
okay, good. Did you hear that? Get a backhoe.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
You're being a word
But
Set a limit, Sherry.
I tell people, I said, if you are out in the county and the right-hand side is higher than the road, report it, because if the water can't get off into the drain, that's when we have our problems, so we need to look ahead and take care
That
of
was
it.
just one commissioner that said that. Troy,
Well,
so you need
I'm
to
a
check.
county girl, and drainage has been an issue for years.
I don't disagree, I just,
Yeah, so thank you for.
those guys will have a new backhoe by this evening.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it might not take a backhoe, it might just take something that goes down the road and throws it up.
I'm gonna head out west and look at the backhoes real quick.
Okay, yeah,
Did Donna leave us?
yeah, sure.
Well, shoot, I was going to give Donna Patterson a big shout out, because when I came to government in '91, I had little knowledge of how government worked from a private family business, and Miss Patterson's retiring, and next Monday at, I believe it's 1 to 3:30,
It's her reception.
they're having a
She's
reception, so.
Stay until Friday, right?
So stop and give her a thank you.
Very good. Does anyone have anything else?
I'll move we recess.
You have a motion to recess, I'll second it. Roll call?
Mr. King, Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you, we're in recess.